Hello everybody and welcome back to SpeedForce Racing. My name is JB and I'll be taking you through tonight's race here in Spa-Francorchamps. Before we do anything else though, let's take a look at these GP2 standings because with a 24-point gap ahead of everyone else, it's Mike Bundy ahead of Peter Solheim in P2. Then there's Electrodan in P3 and Gore Collins is in P4, James Braden is in P5. In P6 is Lee Nell, and P7 is Owen, P8 is Smuddy Badger, P9 is Thomas, P10 is T. Jonas, who's not racing tonight, he's in France. Lucky little Norwegian we have. Outside of the top 10 we have Centre Crumpets in P11, Fotio is in P12, Brett is in P13, Twan, who's returned after a long race absence, is in P14, Z-Trexter is in P15, Ryan Cut is in P16, Rockin' Kid is in P17, Honey Badger is in P18, Virus is not racing tonight, he'll be replaced by C. Pazzi, Championship leader in GP3, and Leon is not racing tonight, he's in P20. So, let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship because by a 35-point gap ahead is the Toro Rossos ahead of the Williams in P2. Then there's the Mercedes in P3, and then the McLaren's in P4, Haas is in P5, and Red Bull is in P6, sorry I can't speak. Renault is in P7, Alfa Romeo is in P8, Racing Point is in P9, and Ferrari is in P10. Though I am not on my own tonight, as always, I am joined by my good friend Alex. How are you, Alex?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hungover, but good, because I am now 18, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is 18 years old. My God, we're knackered.
Yeah, no, but I'm good. Obviously, I've left racing now, so the stress is off me, and I'm good to be here in Spa. Landed here a couple hours ago. Obviously, you were here overnight. It stinks in here, so that's why I brought some Febreze to bring in the comms box and hopefully freshen it up a little bit, mate.
The Febreze is just for you. The Febreze is just for your vomit in the bucket.
Is that a dead possum?
No, it's a dead mouse. There's a difference. It's a big mouse. Anyway, what's been happening in GP2? Well, into the last 3 weeks of racing here. Next week we're off to Silverstone, then to the big one in Brazil for the final race of the season. Who is excited for that? I really am excited. This series has been the best series, I think, in SFR history, with so many different race winners and so much more fun than the previous series. Alex, we're into the sharp end of it, and we still have no idea who's going to... And it's raining in Spa! Oh, I wanted it!
SpeedForce raining is back in effect.
And for once,
today.
it's not GP3 that's got it. So we're all running intermediate tyres. Let's run through the drivers we're having tonight. Do you want to run through the drivers that we actually have in tonight?
I mean, sure. You were about to ask me a question before the rain started. But
we'll go back to that in a minute.
Anyway, so we got Electrodan as Lee's notification needs to get out of the way. Thank you for posting on link, Lee, but it doesn't help me. We got Electrodan, we got Thomas, James Braden, Honey Badger, Sweeney's, I want to say his name, Swan, Leroy, Brett, Owen, C. Pazzi, Z-Trexter, Centre Crumpets, Ryan Cut, Peter Solheim, Smuddy Badger, Lee Nell, Rockin' Kid, Colours the God, and Mr. Mike Bundy in the Mercedes.
That's what the M actually stands for. It's actually Mr. Bundy now. But yeah, this is going to be... So Rouge and Radion have suddenly got a whole lot more difficult here. I haven't been told the weather for the race yet. But let's see, as we're watching Sweeney come through Rouge and Radion, he's already getting it wrong and taking the Sergio Perez line there on the first lap. And there's a Torres and Alfa Romeo in the background. That's Leroy. He's caught it right, but he has almost lost it himself. Leroy is returning to racing here as a reserve driver. I think his place was filled.
It's Leroy Jenkins.
This is just as my cat starts drinking my drink. God, what are you with you and drinking my drink recently? This is... Yeah, so what's that? Tip called Owen All. Okay. He wants me to call him All. But that just sounds like I'm doing something else, and I'll bring through that later. But 19 drivers here tonight in Spa. This track is incredibly incredibly wet. I wonder what the race is going to look like. Alex, back to the question that I did ask you eventually. We're coming to the sharp end, the final 3 races of the season. No idea who's going to win either championship in SFR. It's brilliant to watch, isn't it? Oh,
exactly. This is what SFR is all about. Unfortunately, real life can't really be like this anymore with dominance here. But luckily, we run equal cars. It's a lot of fun, and also it's a lot of fun to commentate on. Obviously, I've been a bit all over the place this season due to college commitments and stuff. But obviously, I'm back. I'm not here next week, but I'll be back for the last one. And hopefully, it doesn't get wrapped up next week. So that'll be a big shame.
Yes, next week we're testing out a new commentator SFR, not to replace anyone, to try and see if he's...
They've put me in the bin, ladies and gentlemen.
No, they haven't. We're looking to find another commentator to have a look around, see if we can get some fresh voices into SFR with the potential of restarting the Premier Division next season. So this track has suddenly just got a whole lot more difficult. If you've done all your practice in the wet, then you're in a lot of trouble coming into Eau Rouge and Radion now. Depending on what the race is actually like, it could be just like this. Coming into the actual event. I mean, Alex, this is where it gets really difficult to qualify on these intermediate tyres at this particular track with these two corners, the Eau Rouge and Radion complex. Swede gets it very nicely right there, going through dry race apparently, according to Steve Hasley.
A phrase I like to say, this circuit separates the men from the boys. That's for certain. Taze Leroy, we said he got a bit funny at Eau Rouge the first time.
Whoops.
Possibly into Radion there, lost it. But
yeah, big accident, rear tyre has come off on the Alfa Romeo, so Leroy will not be sitting a lap time here in Spa.
I'll tell you what, though, Sweeney's looks comfortable. Yeah, very comfortable.
This is Sweeney's first outing here in SFR. As a reserve driver in the Ferrari right now, see what he can get up to. Sector 1 and 2.
I'll have a look and see what I can see the yellow flag.
I wonder if that's claimed another victim. This track incredibly difficult in the dry, let alone the wet. We saw GP3 last night. If you never watched the GP3 race, go and watch GP3 last night. That was absolutely phenomenal, the racing we had in the second division.
The only reason he's saying that is because he didn't have to commentate over my driving.
Linell bending out the way of Sweeney as Sweeney comes through. I keep wanting to call him Sweeney John. Connor's the God retiring! The full-face man!
That's going to make this race interesting.
Well, the thing is, an interesting fact, if Colours the God had... Oh, Zipazzi has been disqualified for driving the wrong direction. We saw that last night with Blood and Sands. Possibly something that's a little bit harsh. It's further back.
Thomas has gone sideways up Eau Rouge.
Well done to him if he caught that. Looking now at Sweeney.
He was stuck sideways.
3 drivers out of qualifying already. DRS opening now. Opening in the wet conditions. Sweeney starts off at 1:55.7. Here's Brett. He's running out wide. He's trying to catch the car. What was I saying before? Oh, yeah. Colours the God. He could have... A little note though, if he had finished the race, I think if he finished the race or won the race or finished on the podium last week in Suzuka, he could have still won the championship without winning a race in SFR, because he has not won a race yet. But as that's gone away, he's unfortunately not able to take the as Brett pulls into pit lane. So I'm not sure as Ollie. That's what we're going to call Owen now, Ollie, because as a request from him. He's coming through. His teammate just in front of it in the Renault, struggling. Ryan Cutt is on his car. This track is so difficult. Blanchimont, so fast. It's very difficult.
I caught it on the way to the pits. Lost it.
Yeah, very difficult there. On board with Ryan Cutt as he comes towards the line now.
I'll tell you what, these conditions look very much on the verge of wet tyre, don't they?
Oh, there's the Ferrari.
They look like if it was a section more wet, we wet tyre. But Ryan Cutt though gets 4/10 off of Sweeney's time.
Ollie
his teammate
goes a second, not a second. Sorry, goes 1/10 faster than him though. So the Renault's looking punchy.
Thomas should be the next man over the line if by.
Well, I've got Electro Dan right now coming through. Peter Solheim is faster than both of us, though, and he goes for a 1:55.2. Electro Dan going for a long, sweeping way into the race with the orange helmet. Maybe that's why he's running it for Spa. He's on an outlap now as he runs in. Here's Twan, just starting his outlap as well, I believe, as he pulls in, wearing the red helmet for Niki Lauda. Crossing the line, and Twan goes P9, invalidated lap time. This track looks very difficult. What can Lee now get up to now? This was the race last season that gave him a championship charge. Granted, it was much earlier in the season than right at the sharp end. And Lee now, is as he starts his lap time, is possibly going to go for another win. He was driving a Toro Rosso last season. Now in the Red Bull team. Hasn't been the best partnership as he goes up to P7. Hasn't been the best partnership in SFR history.
That is a torrid time, isn't it? Well, really? No, I mean, no offence to Lee, but it is.
I think it's lack of grip on the track and lack of confidence in the car right now. As they're all trying to work out where the pressure is.
All I'm saying is, I love our commentating style. Is that I'm the more harsh one. You're the one that's like, yeah, go give a break.
Well, right now they're all running dry setups around because it's going to be a dry race. as Ryan Cut falls foul of Sector 3. So with the dry setups, obviously they're struggling in these conditions to get the most out of the cars. Even Honey Badger, who's running a very odd helmet, a white and red helmet, looks to be for Nicky Lauda as well, coming through Rouge and Radion now, had to lift himself in the Mercedes. He's going to struggle in these conditions as well. It's such a difficult section. Where's Mike Bundy? Only P8 right now for the championship leader. So they're still trying to find their feet.
Another torrid time. Yeah, but you can say that, but then again, the confidence of Pedersen, I mean, that shows that shows what a good driver can be around here. These guys need to get to that level, JB.
If
sorry again for being
for
being a
Billy Monster. Billy, if you're looking to join SFR, please, after the race, DM me. Whoa, as Spenny Badger comes into contact with what looked like to be Rocking Kid there, as Rocking Kid chucks it at the inside. The bus stop chicane. Sorry, going back to Billy. Billy, if you just message me on as Rocket King goes fastest there, message me on PlayStation, Lord JB13, and we'll get you lined up to try and get you into a seat. This is actually a league race now, so we obviously have a locked grid for tonight. We can't just add you in mid-race. As Centre Crumpets retires somewhere. It looks to be Rouge and Radion. It is further up. We'll stay on board with Sony Badger to see the Strecken. Toro Rosso, Racing Point, and he is in the barrier where Kevin Magnussen buried his nose.
Lee now's about to finish another lap here.
Lee jumps up just behind his teammate.
Again, though, still, I think, I tell you what, mate, this, again, you made a point earlier, this is crunch time for these drivers. There is not an excuse for poor performance, even in these difficult, torrid conditions.
I'm still going to argue, right, with
I'm going to be...
Purely because, yeah, see, personally, I sort of agree with that. Honey Badger going fastest now. I feel that it's because of the dry setups drivers are running. They're much more at risk of spinning out and crashing in these conditions with the lack of downforce on the cars. And this is still quite a downforce missing track. Brett cutting the pit lane just a little bit as he pulls in. Disapproving face from JB.
Yeah, I don't know. I disagree. I think you've got to possibly think, maybe run that setup, and then you got to run the wet setup in qualifying and just get a very good qualifying position. I think that's what it's all about. And I'm going to argue again with you here. I think you said earlier it's crunch time. It's towards the end of the season. There is no excuse for poor performance. You can do a bunch of practice in any weather condition, and they just didn't do that today. They know the threat of rain around Spa is huge, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. I think some of these guys have underperformed.
Electrodan going up to P2 as Rocking Kid. He's in P3 right now. That incident there with Smelly Badger may go to the stewards in qualifying, because that was a bit silly from Rocking Kid to chuck it up the inside like that. Remember, we are not racing. There is no reason why you should be making your overtaking moves like that in qualifying. Sweeney on his on debut, obviously just starting his second stint laps here. As a debut driver in SFR, it really is difficult, especially in GP2, to sort of shine as much as you possibly could. Alex, when you debuted back in SFR, did you feel that did you wish that you could have had a little bit more airtime, or do you think that you did enough to make you stand up and notice?
I think it depends again what time it is in the season. I debuted. When was it? Do you remember? Because I personally don't. I know it was last season. Was it the beginning of last season? Did I get a seat at the beginning of?
No, you joined midway through last season. I think.
So yeah, I joined in like the midway stages. Cause I remember I came on for a few commentaries. It depends what part of the season it is. I think towards the end you kind of want to get.
He's lost the rear end. He caught it in that Rouge and Radion though. Oh, sorry to interrupt you, mate. That was a scary, almost accident there for the Flying Dutchman.
I think towards the end of the season you want to get more airtime to show yourself for next season. But I think at the beginning of the season you don't really mind being in that difficult spot. Just like not being shown, because obviously the shine is on the faster drivers. So again, I think it really comes down to this point in the season. But if I was a new driver at this stage, I want to get as much airtime as possible to show the league leaders that I am a viable driver and I'm very good at what I do, and I want to be here next season.
I'm real safe to see Pasley about the incident with Honey Badger there. Well done, yeah. I'm gonna take.
Twad's lost it. Upper Rouge and Radion.
Again, this track showing how difficult it is. But last night we saw a driver come from, I think he was about 19th on the grid, to get up to onto the podium. So he was doing fantastic. And same with Pasley. Yeah, a couple of drivers having some good runs. But I'm gonna just mention back to when I first started in SFR back in season 1. I started in Austria, and I started in the first race back in when the league was so new. I wouldn't say that I'd be on this pace at all now. Oh, it's Petter Solheim always bins it in the barrier at the house.
Mike Bundy overtakes Petter Solheim though, which is important. Qualifying position is everything. We're on top of Spa here because although it's easy to overtake, you never know. You never know.
Now, it's just got even worse now for Lienel. Red Bull did not put on the right setup on the car. He certainly sat on a stock setup. He will be running that setup all the way through the race now. As Petter Solheim improves.
Sorry to cut you off.
Improves to P2.
Stock setup isn't all that bad around here, in my opinion.
It's not awful, but it's not brilliant.
I mean, it's doable. Yeah, it's lucky that he's at a track like Austria where DNFs are frequent, no offence to the drivers, but it's just the nature of the circuit. But I don't think you should be too disheartened from that. I think he's still got a good chance. Again, sorry, tell me if I'm being too harsh when I say stuff. It's just my personal opinion. But I sometimes feel like
back up to my little story anyway. But my story, when I first started in SFR, back in season 1 at Austria, I won't. I'm not going to say that I'd ever be at this pace again in SFR because I really don't think. I think as Samu finally joins us, the reserve driver. I'm not going to say anything. As Brett's rear end is looking very loose there. I got on the podium on the first race, and then suddenly I had a lot of expectations from other people saying, "Hey, look, you should be on the podium this time." And I had a load of bad races. I didn't get on the podium. I don't think again in SFR. I had the prospect to win a race the race after in Silverstone, but there was too many incidents. But nonetheless, it was my run in SFR is whoa, big save from Brett there. There's no way I'm as good as these drivers now. These guys are so much better than me. To be fair, it's not a high bar. One podium in SFR is basically what everyone's. I mean, even Alex is better than me, and he's retired like me now.
I've done 2 and I've won a race. So I've had 2 podiums, won a race.
Jay the Bottle B says T. Johnson, I was quicker than you, Hal. I was quicker than you for most of the first season. Brett now coming through to finish his lap time there. Brett's on the rear end, he's going to the barrier, he's on it again! He's going to catch this, he will not be DNF though! He has done very well to save that. Lienel retiring in Sector 3. I think that's coming out of pit lane. What a save from Brett. He knew where to kick the car out so he wouldn't enter the barrier. Well done from him.
If I'm Brett, I cross the line and I take more positions. I don't know who's realised this. You can go again as well another lap here. His tyres won't really be toasted. It's good thing about the intermediate, so he'll come across the line with a terrible time. But can he still beat Tan and Leroy in that equation, I think. So it's 2 spaces gained just by crossing the line. He's got a time there to do more laps. 23 though, mate. Mike Bundy's in a bit of a sticky sitch right now. He's got
to come out soon, hasn't he?
Because again, it's a very Mercedes with an unsafe release there, and that's not really a thing because the game's stupid. But they kind of drove into each other.
Yeah, that's an odd glitch that appeared. As Thomas is running on the gravel, he caught that though. That's an odd glitch that appeared recently in this game.
Look at the gap between Bundy and Thomas, though. Look at that gap.
Close. Look at the gap between Bundy
very far.
and
it's very far.
Rocky Kid.
There's 5 tenths between.
Yeah, but look at the gap between Bundy and Rocky Kid. Sorry, that's what I was looking at.
Exactly. That's what it needs to be. But Thomas about to come across the line now. He goes 4th far, which knocks Bundy down again. This is a very the 1 yellow flag. Again, could it be Brett though? Is he going to encounter traffic here? It's possible. Braden, can he get out of the way? Braden doesn't get out of the way. Braden, come on, man.
James Braden currently in P10. He had a 4-race winning streak before he did not start in Suzuka, which cut it, and his racing streak was taken by Mike Bundy. Mike Bundy won that race, and that's really going to put it up as Thomas retires.
Thomas.
If he abandons his lap, there's no chance of getting another lap, is there? Where he is.
Yeah, that's probably him saying he's done. And I think, he's put a solid time in there. Brett, that was the man I'm looking at. What could he actually do? Because he looked comfortable before his slide there. He almost slides again, going into that corner. I think it's called Pouon, but I might be wrong.
No, Brett's long after Pouon. He's 2 seconds down. He'll have 1 more lap, though. on these tyres as he crosses the line at 40 seconds. Yep, getting good.
He goes faster than Liddell, which, no offence to Lee, was an easy time to beat there, but that's the importance of getting that lap in for Brett. It may not have been a strong one, but he got him up in position. Interestingly, though, look at the train here. Look at the tow Electro Dan is getting from Smelly Badger as they possibly end their laps now here. But
Smelly Badger's going to be very close towards not even getting a lap time in. He's just coming into the bus stop now. 15 seconds to go. He may just get it in. It's going to be close. 10 seconds. There's the line there. He's sideways and he crosses the line with 6 seconds to go.
Oh my god, as Electro Dan clouts the wall there.
Electro Dan's rear end is not looking happy. He caught it very nicely though with the orange helmet. Qualifying is now over and Peter Solheim is not on track. Neither is Sweezy to looking at getting a new lap time on the board. And laps are going to start fading now as the rain starting to come down. Rocky Kid clips the barrier.
Sweezy wasn't. He didn't get there in time. He didn't cross the line in time. He was out. He just didn't cross the line. Same with Peter Solheim.
Rocking Kid into pit lane. What's Ollie going to get up to? He's up in sector 2 right now. We'll keep an eye on him. Where's James Braden? Just coming down towards Puon now. He's on a slow lap. He's abandoned his lap time. And there it is. Smelly Badger heading towards Puon now. What can he do?
I think Brett is the guy
Smelly Badger wide. First. Smelly Badger's rear end is not playing happy. Smelly Badger had a nice bit of practice last night in GP3. Running a dual campaign now. What can Brett get up to? 2 seconds faster. That will put him somewhere very close towards the top, but not close enough right now as he gets towards it. Rear end sliding. Big save from the Haas there. No ARS deployment yet as he comes into the final bus stop chicane. 1 apex and 2.
The RS deployment is never there here, but what can Brett do?
It's close, but it's third. Brilliant, that's on there.
Look at Electro Dan though behind Smelly Badger.
Yeah, he's lost 2 seconds. He pulled off. His lap's gone.
That's a shame. What can Bundy do though? Bundy's under pressure. Put aside him being in P2. What can Smelly Badger do though? How can he affect this?
Remember, Mike Bundy has to not score this race, and for Peter Solheim to win this race, if Peter Solheim will take the Champions League by 1 point as we head into the final laps. But Mike Bundy is the fastest man on track right now. Is it going to be Mercedes 1-2? It is a Mercedes 1-2, but it's Honey Badger on P1 ahead of Mike Bundy in P2.
Right, can we just say, where did that lap time come from the other Mercedes? Look at, there's a 9/10 gap.
And the championship fight is there. Look at that. Remember, Mike Bundy Mike Bundy is 24 points away from Peter Solheim. Peter Solheim has to win this race, and Mike Bundy has to not score if Peter Solheim wants to win this. Got to lead the championship by 1 point heading into Silverstone next week. This race.
So I'll tell you what, though, from what I know of the guy, if anyone can do it, it's Peter Solheim. Absolutely. I mean, it's good that him and Bundy are together because it makes it very interesting. I'm actually going to keep my eyes on the front for this one because we're so close to the end. I want to also see what happens at the front, if that's okay with you. At the start of the race.
That's fine. So, by 8 tenths, Honey Badger is in P1 ahead of Mike Bundy in P2. Peter Solheim is in P3 ahead of Brett, who's in P4. Ollie is in P5 and Dan is in P6. Thomas is in P7. Rockin' Kid is in P8. Sweezy is in P9 and Smelly Badger is in P10. Ryan Cutt is in P11. James Braden is in P12. Lee Nell is in P13. Twan is P14, Leroy is in P15, Z-Trex is in P16, Senti Crump is in P17, Gold Colours is in P18, CNC Pasley is in P19. Sorry, I wanted to say P20 there, but it wasn't P20 because we... Samu, sorry, is in P20, yeah, you're right. But obviously, with it being a dry start to the race, all of these guys are going to have free tyre choice, and that really relaxes the strategy, doesn't it?
Yes, I think it does, but also it also makes it more of a mind game for me, JB. Like, what will people think when they go, I'll go on this tyre because I think everyone's going to go on this tyre? Or do you think they'll play it safe and go on the same tyre as everyone else? Do you think some people might be considering a two-stop? It's very much all to play for because they're all going to be on fresh tyres, so that no one has an advantage over anyone else.
Do remember, you don't really want to be in the middle for this race. If someone goes slow with no Rouge and Radio on, that's where it all goes wrong.
Or if someone is sideways.
Yeah. It all went wrong if we look back at season 1. No, I did get on podium again in season 1. I finished P2.
JB,
at Spa. But if you look... Yeah, go on.
What do you think the percentage of safety car is going to be?
Well, we saw some horrendous crashes last night. We didn't have a safety car, so I'm going to say 0% because it's ridiculous. We didn't even get virtual last night.
Do you think they're going to fix that next game?
Oh, they better bloody do. I don't mean to swear. So, onto the formation lap now. We'll run through the tyres as well as the drivers now, because Honey Badger is in P1 ahead of Mike Bundy in P2. Peter Solheim is in P3, Brett is in P4, and Ollie is in P5. The top 5 all running soft tyres. Electro Dan, the odd man out right now on the medium tyres, ahead of Thomas, who's on the soft tyres.
Also, I'm going to say Twan is the ultimate one out. Look at him, something super softs.
Rocking Kid is in P8 on the soft tyres, and Sweezy is in P9 on the soft tyres. Smelly Badger going on the medium tyres after last night's experience in GP3. Outside of the top 10, Ryan Cutt is in P11 on the yellow walled soft tyres. James Braden, I see a B and I immediately believe it's Bundy. James Braden is on the medium tyres in P12, and Linnell going for the soft tyres in P13. Twan is on the super soft tyres, as mentioned earlier, in P14. Leroy is in P15 on the soft tyres. Zetrester on the medium tyres is in P16. Then it would be Scented Crumpets and Gold Colours. They're both on the medium tyres in 16 and 17. P19 is C. Pasley on the super soft tyres, and Samu with no setup is in P20 on the super soft on the soft tyres. I hate going through the tyres; they drive me nuts.
Right, man. I'm going to keep my eyes on who's your man to watch. Not maybe a driver today, but who do you think your man's to watch?
I think the man to watch though is going to be either Thomas, Ollie, or Brett. I think they're going to be fun to watch.
I'm going to go Braden and Dan. I think Dan being on the mediums in top 10, and I think Braden because they're both. Braden he's showed the pace, and I think Electro Dan could cause some issues in the midfield today.
Well, C. Pasley, right, in GP3, brilliant starter. Heartbreak last night. He says he should have won that race, but he didn't win that race because he got wing damage. And he lost a 12-second gap to his own bottliness. But hopefully that's the only thing to go through. And today he might be able to redeem that, starting in P19, almost exactly where he started last night, exactly where he likes to be outside of the top 10. Watch him off the start, right? He'll go mad.
No offence, mate, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. No offence to the guys in GP3.
It will be, but we'll just see what happens.
If he can get in a point-scoring position, he's done himself well. That's all I'll say.
He's in the Williams as well, so there you go. All right, so towards the line, I will be taking us through 5 red lights. Who are you going to be looking at as we head to the start?
I'm going to be on board with Peter Solheim, so I'm going to look at the onboard from the McLaren.
Well, there's a brilliant shot of the Mercedes there in P1. I'm actually going to take everything off, just have a nice shot there if Honey Badger wants to get a nice picture. I like that shot, that's great. Okay, and now we'll head off to the green lights, hopefully, in a moment or two. Oh, one for Mike Bundy as well. That's nice.
Oh, it's because of Cersei Trexler, he took his time.
Alright, there we are. That's the field, the back of the field right now as we head towards 5 red lights. Green lights are on, the lights are on now as we head to 5 red lights here in Belgium, aggressively to the inside. They're pointed, the lights are out, the drivers are away. Now it's a good start from Mike Bundy in P2. A better start from Honey Badger though. An aggressive start. And Alfa Romeo already touching the grass. And now Peterson down the inside. He will be leading the race in the P1. Corner. And he's leading the race, and now Brett into P2. Mike Bundy dropping down was his teammate. He's going to be careful, and Honey Badger battling on. Brett trying to go around the outside of Penisolo already as they turn to Rouge and Radion. No cars going sideways yet. There's contact though, and Brett is into the barrier. There's a big accident there after clipping the rain lights there from Honey Badger, and he's back on track. There is contact, and he's out of the race. Scented Crumpets out of the race as well. Big accident here. Is there going to be a safety car? Mike Bundy dropping down positions as he makes contact with Electro Dan. But he has fought his way back through. Sweezy battling with Twan.
Samu has no front wing whatsoever.
Yeah, such a big accident there. And all with a time penalty there. And drivers all struggling there. See Pasley already ahead of his teammate there as he battles Z-Tractor. Drivers aggressively to the inside.
What was Brett doing coming back on the circuit there? He should have stayed where he was for a bit.
Brett didn't have any control of his car. And now off to focus on what's happening. Sweeney going wide and poo on. Trying to focus on. We'll go through everything that happened on lap 1 in just a moment's time. But right now, Peterson is right where he needs to be to take a good chunk of points away from Mike Bundy tonight. What an insane start to the race.
Absolutely, and Bundy. You said a good start from Bundy, but he seemed to spin up his tyres.
Mike Bundy hates starting racing cars. He always has done.
He just let
Peterson. Oh, someone's got white. See Pasley. Has he hit the barrier?
Oh no.
Yeah, he has. Steve
Yeah,
Hasley
such
with
good
wing damage in the Williams tonight.
He looked like such a good start as well.
Looks like he was forced to the outside by his teammate. On board with Lee now as he looks to the inside of his teammate. Defending from someone. It's Rocking Kid. Rocking Kid trying to go round the outside of Lee now. Hasn't happened. But Peter Solheim leads away. Thomas pulls into pit lane.
I tell you what, Twan here could go on. Twan could be an issue for Bundy on the super softs, especially in these next few laps. Watch out for Twan. He could have possibly go for the overtake on Bundy. This is a nightmare for Bundy's Mercedes right now.
James Braden has passed Rocking Kid for P12. There seems to be a bout of lag there in the lobby as they head round and down.
Sorry to cut you off, mate, but here comes Twan on Bundy, as I was saying. Slipstream, no DRS at this point, but he's going to pull to the side and overtake the Mercedes there. Both in the Mercedes engine, that Racing Point sports pace.
He left him no room.
As Electro Dan and Ryan Cut go at it, it's hands of anger for the pair of them.
Ryan Cut cuts off Electro Dan, look at that, living by his name. And Leroy looking to go down the inside at turn 10 towards the line at X. There's contacts there. These guys are driving a lot of rally cars tonight. By the looks of it, as they go through X towards P1.
I know, mate, I'm still going to call it no name. I'm still going to call it, I don't care.
Well, see, I care. Anyway, Ryan Cut dropping out ahead. We'll talk about corner names later on in the race, though, as Tran comes under pressure, though, from Mike Bundy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Twan though, he's pulling away a little bit. He's just got to focus down and get his head down. You see that lag
spike there?
I didn't. I don't know.
Sector 2, we have a yellow flag.
I'm looking. Oh, it's Lee now. Oh dear.
Lee's had a big spin. Is there any damage on that Red Bull? There looks to be a little bit of damage. No, there's not.
But can we just talk about how far virtual? What?
Virtual safety car for Lee now spinning.
After the first.
Let's try and see. Hopefully that isn't a virtual safety car glitch. But by 2.5 seconds, Peter Solheim
that's a harsh penalty.
Well, you have the Delta, frankly. I'm going to disagree with that. The Delta is quite easy. Peter Solheim is in P1 ahead of Honey Badger in P2. Ollie is in P3 and Twan is in P4. Mike Bundy is in P5. That is our top 5, as we don't know when the virtual safety car will pull in. But that was, wow. So the virtual safety car deployed for Lee now spin. Maybe there is a bit of carbon fibre on the track. But, you know, we'll call that for the big accident. Back to free flag racing, no. As Mike Bundy,
Leroy's been put in a terrible position. 3 wide down the back straight.
Into this corner at the corm, and there's a Ferrari off the track. It's Sweezy. He looked to have gained a little bit of an advantage on Dan there, but Sweezy is getting the run towards turn 10 now, and then towards X. He turns in, and he's still there. Leroy's going to be forced wide, not the optimal line there. That's where Massa crashed back in 2018. But Leroy holds on, going through X now towards P1. Whoa, Ferrari got no grip there. Not a surprise for a Ferrari, though.
Tell you what, Sweezy wants to get past, but Leroy's got a terrible exit speed, but he's got pace in all the right places, hasn't he? At the minute, JB, he's doing very well to hold position, but it's going to be look. He's causing a bit of a train here.
Sweezy's got no ERS on.
That's interesting. I don't know whether anyone. The only
he's
man I can see is actually using.
No, hold on. He's genuinely using. No, he's turned him up now. Mike Bundy on the back of Twan now. He's got a good jump on the Dutch driver in front, and he wants to get past him sooner rather than later. Is he going to try a big dive bomb? It's a bit of a risk. He is going to go for it. No, he's not. Not yet.
Oh yeah, I would have gone underneath, so it would turn to the inside for this part of the chicane. I'm going to keep my eyes on Sweezy though. He looks very punchy.
Big spin for Smitty Badger. He may have been helped along, but he has span. I don't know. Look, that was such a quick motion. It looked to be, on quick flash to my little replay camera, it looked to be that he was helped along by the Alfa Romeo of Rocking Kid, so I wonder what will happen there. This track, everyone wants to win this track, right?
How will Sweezy do as he's in the dirty air?
So he's actually made like Bundy with DRS is going to charge up and try and pass Twan. This time, Twan's going to have to defend. Thomas, the fastest man on track. Not difficult. We have had a couple of virtual safety car laps, and now Twan is down into P5 now as Mike Bundy battles on Rocking Kid, dropping down another position. It's sector 1. We have yellow flag, and Lee Nell is out of the session. He will not be repeating that monster drive that he had last season to win the race. He said it was luck, and he's going to be disappointed with this. He might be a little bit iffy about it though, because he did put on the wrong setup.
Oh, Leroy! went on the grass there, and he just, I don't know what he was doing. I think he just ran out of room. But Sweetie now gets past.
The BB plays. Well, okay. Firstly, BB, I'm gonna have to ask you to refrain from using that. One of the moderators will watch that. But you gonna if you're feeling that, please message one of the admin pages on SFR. So secondly, is audiences will be looked at, and secondly, it is Mike Bundy, yes, who is championship leader by 24 points from Peter Solheim, who is leading the race right now. So Mike Bundy's got some
Sorry to
catch-up.
cut you off. I know you're doing something important, but watch out for this. Sweeney's, although he's took 7th,
He's got a problem.
look how slow he is. I don't know what's going on.
He's got zero pace in the straight line, has he? And coming to the inside comes Leroy. Leroy's not going to hold off. He's going to chuck it at the inside. Trying to go around the outside, but Electro Dan's there, and he's been helped along by James Braden.
This is a dangerous game for Electro Dan. He's got to be careful. I think Braden's keeping his distance in a smart decision, in my opinion. But Dan, I think he's a little bit too eager. He's on the medium tyres, doesn't really need to be getting involved just yet. Must wait for this battle to calm down a bit.
He'll drop off here. On board now, Leroy went very wide there. Leroy went right again. Both drivers struggling as they run up towards O'Roos and Radion. And now on the charge, here comes Leroy, pulling to the inside on Sweetie. And Sweetie's just got no pace in that Ferrari. Again, not the first time we've heard that in SFR.
It's a shame, but look how much Peter Solheim's beginning to pull away. And Bundy, he's if we have a look here, he's 5.6 seconds
down the inside, Electro Dan on Sweetie. Samu elected to retire the car after the virtual safety car incident through Ix. Now, contact there as Sweetie almost guides down into the barrier at Ix. And what a battling drive from both of these drivers now. James Braden, he's going to think about it. Sector 1 with yellow flags, that will be for Samu there. I say what's on my mind. We'll get in trouble. So, Sweetie looking at trying to pass Electro Dan sooner rather than later. Whoa, something happened there. Sorry, I was on a halo cam. Didn't see much with
Twan's gone wide! Twan's lost it!
Twan dropping positions now. Is there damage on that car? James Braden retiring! Where? Has he done one better than me? Oh, I know exactly where he's done. He's done it in the house. He's ripped the rear tyre off. Yeah, there it is. I've done that before. Stavolo, I believe that's Stavolo.
Look at Sweetie.
Yellow flags, and James Braden leaves. Angry. Will not be getting another race win to his tally. Twan, pit lane.
This is such a scary race, isn't it, JB? It really is heart and mouth stuff. Every time.
Sweeney
There's a bit of
is
contact
very...
between Dan and Sweeney.
Sweeney is a very eager driver. He wants to prove himself earlier on in SFR. And unfortunately, he's coming up against him. He's driving a little bit harsh against other drivers. He's got to just remember that he can't use drivers as brakes. But he's got the line there on Electro Dan. And that was a monstrous run there for the Ferrari. DRS will open. He's got to control the track limits, though. He keeps hitting the grass very hard. And that's slowing his race pace down. He could have passed the race pace in all of these guys if he kept the track limits under control.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a very difficult circuit. Electro Dan, though, he's very hard, but he's fair, isn't he, as a driver, I think. And, you know, I think maybe he's chose the wrong tyre strategy for me. I think if he really wanted to start fighting, I think if he wanted to fight people... Sorry to cut you, sorry, mate.
It's alright.
I'm just saying that I think if he I think if he wanted to be more aggressive racing, he possibly started the softs and gone mediums like when the other drivers do. What's your opinion on this? What do you think?
Strategy-wise, I think as Z-Chester gets a time penalty right now in P14, it's a difficult call. I think that Electrodan has the right idea, but again, he's doing exactly what he said. He's being a little bit hard on his tyres and fighting a lot harder than he needs to do, remember. If you remember, looks like we have a fixed yellow flag point, which is going to be a pain for all the drivers. If you remember, he's going to be faster later on in the session, so I would be less aggressive right now in this stint, and then push on as the race finishes.
Again, though, Bundy, to his credit, he's caught up to Peter Solheim a little bit. It was 5.6, it's now 4.9. Maybe he's just been a lot more calm on his tyres. But Peter Solheim, though, he's just being very calm about it. He's done very well for the start. He did all the business early on, whereas Bundy, so he's given himself a lot of work to do.
Mike Bundy has been struggling with the clutch in that Mercedes all season long. He struggled last season when he drove for the Mercedes as well. So it's more of him struggling with the car rather than the start.
Sorry to cut you off, mate, but here comes Electro down. We talked about can he get the move done on Sweeney's. He's going to go up the inside now, but that'll turn to the outside here. He just doesn't have that as much traction on the soft yet, and Sweeney leaves him no room here, and that's going to anger Electro Dan because we know what he's like. He wants to get past when he tries it. He gives it everything. But Bundy now in the DRS range of that Renault ahead of him. This is turning to be a good race, isn't it?
Rockin' Kid dropping another position to someone is Thomas. Rockin' Kid's early pace is definitely starting to struggle. As I suddenly went very Australian, definitely starting to struggle on his medium tyres, which he just pitted for. Now,
Can you say your next sentence in Australian?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. Maybe at the end of the season.
Maybe after a few beers.
Mike Bundy on the assault, 4 tenths away from Ollie ahead.
Yeah, interestingly as well, though, Electro Dan, again, very, very close. Sweeney got a horrible exit, mate. This looks like it's going to be the move done. As we go, what is this corner called? I know it's a name, I'm just being dumb. Thank you, I thought it was Puon, but
no, Puon's after X.
No name.
So after X, you go for Puon.
No name.
You may laugh.
No
Mike
name.
Bundy, you've got to respect the history of drivers, and Jackie X was a Belgian driver who did very well.
Right, I'm gonna watch Bundy though for now.
Yeah, you've got to respect the history when it comes to Spa.
Maybe a bit too close. No, he's not. He's got a much better exit than Owen though. Maybe even without DRS, he'd get this move done. The DRS though is going to be, it's just going to help him. But look at the gap; it is closing between Bundy and Peder Solheim there. Good job. It's now 4.3 seconds.
Well,
Peder Solheim is
Mike
Sorry,
has
mate,
not...
cut you off. Here comes Electro Dan! He's to force on the inside again, this time a lot more forceful. Sweeney has, yeah, I think Electro Dan had to get that move done. Hopefully he can leave Sweeney in the dust for the sake of his race here, because the more these guys battle, the more he's wearing out his medium tyres. But you know what Sweeney's been like all race? He'll keep fighting. What were you saying, mate?
With all of this, though, Peder Solheim hasn't had to push his tyres yet, obviously, as you mentioned earlier on. So Mike has been battling through. He could be starting to excessively wear his tyres on. Connor's the God, though, out of the race. He was a championship contender earlier on in the season. Let's take a look at where he is. Is that Rouge and Radion? But looks like it's at the top of Radion.
That's a shame. Very similar to Lee now. Very. There's a constant yellow flag, though, unfortunately, there.
I don't think it's there. It's more further around here on if we go on board with Sweezy. Sector 3's yellow flags have popped up, though, as we come through that zone. What happened there? No, that's the constant yellow flag glitch there, unless Leroy had an accident there.
To be fair, though, give it to Bundy. He's done very well here. Beginning to close in his teammate, Honey Badger.
Now, will there be words from Toto Wolff? Will he sit there in his very Australian accent and just Austrian accent? I'm drunk. And he's just claim that Mike Bundy has to be let past Honey Badger, or will Honey Badger be there to be as
good thing for Bundy? I don't know what happened to Ollie, but he's out of DRS, is Ollie, and that's going to help Bundy tenfold. I don't know. Do they talk during the race? How much do you know, JB?
Electro Dan has lost it. He caught it though. He had to dirt to the inside, but Sweeney's out. A big incident in front. He's returned back onto track. And what happened there was, I think Sweeney got put off by Electro Dan going off track and rejoining, and Sweeney ended up just going into the wall. The Ferrari is out. Parts of cars everywhere, and Maranello's own driver is going to be upset. The man whose debut was tonight, Sweeney, he is out of the session. Peder Solheim, P1.
It was a very difficult race for Sweeney. He was on the attack, he was on the defence, he was on the attack. As all the drivers go through this constant yellow flag section, it's unfortunate. But Bundy's beginning to close in on his teammate, as you were saying. You know, and will we see a? Do you think Toto has just got a Honey Badger? Maybe turn up the engine a little bit, mate. Because the gap's staying constant, but the gap to Peder Solheim is slowly coming down and down. So I don't know.
Honey Badger has not scored points this season. He came in and he hasn't scored points. He's had a few races out. He struggled a lot because he's driving with no racing line. Mike Bundy, I believe, is driving with no racing line either. So it's very difficult to look. The gap is definitely coming down. Owen has pitted. Maybe his tyres are shot. We'll see what tyres he goes on to, as Leroy is now right up behind his teammate of Ryan Cutt. See what Ryan Cutt got up to.
Interestingly. Oh, why are they waiting? Did he have a, yeah, he had a 5 second stop go? Did Ollie buzz again, mate? The
You're
gap
right.
is coming down between the two Mercedes.
Ooh, but the gap at top has increased though to 3 seconds. Something happened with Honey Badger.
It must have done here, but look at this. There's a battle going on right now between Ryan Cut and Leroy, which in a lapse time could be a lot closer, and there could actually be an overtake.
I think
So
that Ryan Cut's
buzzing that
preparing
one.
to pit this lap.
Yeah, but look how Ryan Cut made a mistake there for sure, because the gap.
He's looking. He's got no grip as we come towards X.
No, no name. But Bundy, is he going to be in the DRS before the end of the lap? I think so, and it's a needed into DRS. Bundy, yeah, he's in it now. Can he say that? I think he is just the faster driver overall. Again,
I think he's the fastest driver at this point. If there was a mistake from Honey Badger further on in the lap that we didn't see, then I think that's what's causing this issue. He may have flat spotted his tyre or got excessive wear on the tyre from
however,
maybe a half spin.
One thing that's not going to help Bundy is that he's just come out of DRS again.
That silly yellow flag zone is driving me insane. See the board's flashing green again as the drivers are released back to racing speed. Sector 2 and 3 yellow flags. I'm not sure who that is. Pedal Solomon into pit lane. Honey Badger carries on for one more lap.
Look
Sector
at
3.
Leroy! Oh, we thought about it. He did a little dummy there. Will Ryan Cut come in? Yes, he will. Leroy stays out. Pedal Solheim in, which is not going to help Bundy really. He's going to have to do the overcut, which...
We saw the overcut work last night.
Well, no, but if he doesn't overtake Honey Badger, will Honey Badger go in and that leaves him 2 laps out with the soft tyres?
We shall see what happens now. Maybe Honey Badger is being the lead Mercedes and given the option. Whether to pit or not, DRS will open on his teammate though. Will he put up much of a fight? Which the DRS is gonna come into effect. Oh, Honey Badger's the inside. Mike Bundy there using the non-verbal way of saying, look, I'm faster, please let me through there to his teammate. Maybe Honey Badger has received that message and will decide it. But Honey Badger 2 taps away from Ryan Cut, who's just got a pit lane.
Oh, those cold tyres from Ryan Cut.
Look how close they are coming up on Rouge and Radion.
Tell you what though, there's Owen, who's just in the distance. I'll stop there out. Yeah, Bundy is not going to overtake him. I think this could be a horrible. This could change the entire complexion of the race.
Mike Bundy looking to pass his teammate sooner rather than later. Ryan Cut looking to get back at Smelly Badger. He's obviously just come out of pit lane. We'll see what can happen. Well, Smelly Badger being urged on by his teammate who is in the garage right now. We'll see what happens as Mike Bundy 7 tenths away. Z-Trexter with 6 seconds now added to his time after the race is finished. We'll see what happens.
I don't know whether Honey Badger will stay out another lap. If Honey Badger bails in, this just ruins Bundy's race a little bit.
I think Bundy's gonna stay out.
Oh, yeah. Bundy stays out.
They're both staying out. I think that dive there was a show of how much grip he had on his tyres. Again, trying to do all of his forms of non-verbal communication as Leroy pulls into pit lane with his teammate in front saying, look, I might be faster, please, just let me have a shot. And we shall see.
Well, Bundy's going to be a lot closer this lap, this time round.
Smelly Badger's rear end is everywhere now as he looks to be bailing into pit lane in a moment. He does bail into pit lane this time.
Oh, look at Honey Badger. He got a horrible exit compared to Bundy. And
he's got him inside. He's letting him through. He has let his teammate through. The call has been made.
So that indicates to me that Bundy's coming in, but Pedal Solheim now only has Electro Dan in between them, which doesn't really help, of course, Bundy. So the sooner he comes in, the better. But again, where will Bundy come out? It will come out in front of Owen here. So when Bundy pits, there'll be no one in between them, which will help Bundy.
Mike Bundy is going to look to increase his championship lead, and he's going to come to the point that he may be able to win the championship next week in Silverstone. We shall see what happens, though.
Which I don't like, because I want to be here. I don't want it to end next week. A tear comes down my face. You know, that's all.
Sector 1 and 2 yellow flags.
That's Z-Texter.
Z-Texter, has he made a mistake? What's happened with him? He's going very slow, and that Ferrari is worn and damaged. The Sector 3 yellow flags waving once more. Honey Badger has not been dropped, though, by his teammate much. I think we might see the Dutch driver pull it into pit lane in just a moment's time, but maybe Mike Bundy said, look, I want to pit early.
I think we'll see Bundy come in. I think we'll see Bundy come in.
Honey Badger will be upset if he does pit. Bundy does not pit, and Honey Badger does not pit either. The Mercedes doing an entirely own things they care to do.
This is interesting.
Yes, Sweezy, we did see that. These guys are... I think Honey Badger has got to start backing off, though, from his teammates, because he's going to start ruining his tyres at this point. If they're going as long as they want to, and they're on just soft tyres, how far can they go, Alex?
I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. Here comes Bundy, though, but Honey Badger. Will he overtake Bundy? You've got to feel like he will.
Yes, he is. Look, he's got the pace. And Mike Bundy went to the inside saying, just go through. Or he might be saying, yeah, he has gone, just go through. I'm not as quick. So at the same time, these two are both in a good race together. They know what they're doing. We've had
no, but I feel like they're helping one another. They're helping one another.
They are. They're doing this up ready on the behind. So that okay, that's point. And we thought Team Norway Racing now jumping in and try and get a time penalty. They're saying that these guys who were going onto the super soft tyres rather than the medium tyres at the end of the race. That is a strategy that can go either really, really well or really, really badly.
You know, yeah. Luckily, Bundy's got this buffer, this race buffer, to try something a bit crazy. You know, and push. But how much of a blockade will Electro Dan be?
If you recall, Electro Dan looking to go onto the soft tyres at the end of his stint. He's on 12-lap old medium tyres. They're basically as slow as a turtle on a skateboard right now. So we'll see what happens.
Bundy has dropped right back, so I don't know whether Bundy's going to change his mind here.
I think Bundy's going to pit. Because I think he's going to come out... Oh, God, where's he going to come out? About 6th or 7th.
Look at Pedesal now on Electro Dan. Will he get the move done as fast as possible? Electro Dan defends the inside.
Bundy into pit lane now. As Pedesal needs to get the run on the Toro Rosso. Sooner, later, what's he going to do? Danny inside, but Norwegian looks. The British driver having to defend, and the British driver actually baiting his pit lane, so he had the wrong lane picked as he comes to pit in. Mike Bundy, super soft tyres.
I don't think he's just lost too much time, buddy. I don't know about you.
Mr. Bundy, we'll see what he can do. I think he's going to have some serious pace here as Leroy's the fastest man on track.
Well, it's lucky that the gap between the two of them is only 3.2 seconds. If so, he's actually done a good job. He's kept it to the same it was. He's not lost out at all. He's gained time. He's got to give a little bit of time for those tyres to warm up, though. But as soon as it does that, I tell you what, Peder Solheim's in trouble.
Peder Solheim is in trouble. Peder Solheim was possibly the catalyst last season after a little bit of contact at the end of the season between him and Lienel. That controversy may have caused T. Johnson to win the championship. Not saying that I believe any of that. I'm just saying what the controversy was. But nonetheless, he is not averse to getting his elbows out when racing. And Peder Solheim is definitely going to be feeling very excited as he comes towards...
The only thing is, though, the good thing for Peder Solheim is as long as he can defend early on in the stint, as long as he can keep Bundy behind him, in 3 or 4 laps' time, Bundy's tyres aren't going to be in the best condition. So it really comes down to these next 3 or 4 laps to really see whether Bundy will get the win here. And that doesn't hand him the championship almost, really.
That's exactly what's being said. Lots of people agreeing with you, mate, saying that Mike Bundy's tyre choice is the wrong tyre choice, saying that that his tyres will be wrecked by the end of the race. A couple of people saying the McLaren is faster right now. It is faster, but he's going to be leading the race now because in comes Honey Badger breaking into the pit lane.
How do you think Honey Badger will affect Bundy?
Well, he's on the same strategy as Mike Bundy. He's just pitted 1 lap later.
Who's going to come out in front? Who's going to come out in front?
He's going to come out. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be Bundy's still going to be in front because Bundy's coming down the road now.
In front.
Bundy's in front now. And Electro down with a time penalty. The number 15 Mercedes pulling out of pit lane. Oh, it's close! Look how close it is! Now, these guys can use each other's power to get closer to, what's this, lean to the end from Bundy, says Swayze. It could be interesting as we see these drivers head towards the end of the race now. Remember, Honey Badger has to warm his tyres up. They were very close on exit now, with 95 out of 15. Again, I'm going to sit here stroking what little beard I have left and work out what's happening on with this race.
Did you recently have a shave?
Yeah, I had a shave for my father's wedding, so I'm a lot less bearded.
Why?
Because I had to shave, I had to look smart. But the long beard will come back, the SFR beard as I call it, will come back. And I may even do a
Bundy
Patreon
though,
soon.
he's on the push here, but Peter Solheim in the front, he's done a pretty decent job. Again, the first 2 laps of the Supersoft stint, you know, they've got it down here, but he's only really going to have 2 goes at Peter Solheim, and Peter Solheim has done a very good job. I think Honey Badger might actually be the favourite to win this one, mate.
It could go anyway. Anyway can go, and we can see what happens.
What would you do if you're Honey Badger though? Would you impede your teammates' race to get the win, or would
Honey
you just
Badger getting so close to the wall at Stavolo.
Or would you just sit back and let Bundy get the extra points today?
It will go either way. Right now, Mike Bundy is still ahead in the championship, I believe, by by X number of points. If one of my lovely moderators can find out for me.
17.
17 points.
He's 20. Okay. He's 24 ahead, yeah.
24 ahead, yeah. Mike Bundy, fastest man on track now.
17.
I think Honey Badger is still the fastest one of the Mercedes right now.
Especially on the fresh tyres, again though. This is playing into Honey Badger's hands. He's got the DRS on his teammate. Can he use that? If he doesn't overtake Bundy, you know, I think at this stage of the race here, he's got to go and score no points. Peter Solheim!
Twan has had enough. He retires in pit lane.
Penalty. Peter Solheim got a penalty as well. Bundy has 1 warning. So it's looking good for Bundy right now.
This is the question now. I think Honey Badger has a time penalty himself. So it will go every way but Sunday for Honey Badger. And Mike Bundy in the best position right now. He's just got to control what he can do with Solheim with a penalty.
Again though, later on in the stint, it could come back to Peter Solheim.
We've seen it happen before. And just so guys have to do a little bit of a little moment there. If you want to see what cars we're going to be driving next season in SFR, there were some fresh pictures put up on the Codemasters Facebook page of what the final look of the cars for 2019.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
They look fantastic. They really do look so pretty.
But look how close they've all got together.
Anyone want to see those rides? We'll have a look at those later. Mike Bundy charging now. He's coming through that fixed yellow flag zone. And now his teammate's much faster. Teammate looking to make a call saying, look, I'm quicker now. Let me through. I have a time penalty. You'll still win the race, but please. Mike Bundy considering the inside. Persson defends one way and then he doesn't drive at the inside. Remember, this is a championship right here. Leroy, side by side in Blanchimont. Leroy's had to go off track though. He could not do what JB Hogan did last night and go round the outside in Blanchimont. And Z-checks with another time penalty.
This is the scariest thing.
I went on the inside, trying to defend from Leroy. Leroy trying to go round the outside.
Wait, look at Rouge and Manny on the top 3. They're going to go 3 wide for sure.
Here they come, a little bit further back though, for Honey Badger. Here we go, 3 wide, DRS open on one car, and they slip past the McLaren. Will Honey Badger have enough run? He's going to get close.
Yes, he will.
No, he's not. Not yet. He can't. He's going to try running outside, but he hasn't got enough car alongside, so he was not allowed to have any room. Now, Leroy on the attack from Owen. Similar tyre situation here. 2 lap difference. And this can be a Mercedes 1-2 once more. Sector 2 and 3, yellow flags, that's E-Trexter. It's not. He ran wide though.
Interestingly, Peter Solheim's almost lost DRS. It's looking like the win for Bundy today.
The question is now, which Mercedes is on top? Lap 17 now, 22 now, and Honey Badger, he's looking to make the move like, oh, he's doing the SFL Racing Porch line. Looking to come down the inside, he has made the move stick, and he does force the McLaren to have to move, and there he goes. What a brilliant move there from the Racing Porch line, as I call it.
This is so interesting, mate.
And now Solheim, though, he's got some pace in the toe. That's the thing. The McLaren's so quick in the toe. He's going to get close now and try and pass Honey Badger.
He has to.
He's close, remember. He had to lift off there. Well done to Solheim, knowing that he couldn't keep his foot in. He's going to chuck it up the inside here. Go for the JB line. He has tried it at the inside. Almost contact, but it isn't contact. Solheim looking to make a move. Has he got any pace? 6 laps old on those tyres, though.
Try and stick it. He's going to try and stick it.
Take us through this, Alex.
Again, I think this is just desperation moments for Peter Solheim. You can see that championship slipping away as we go up to a Rouge and through Radion. This is really going to be showing the test of character for Peter Solheim. You could say that the race win's possibly out of his hands today. Can he get in now? He's going to try and get in the slipstream here. He's closing and closing on that Mercedes, but it's just not enough at this point. The wear on the super softs is not enough. But you can see that, you know, Bundy, I don't know whether Honey Badger's slowing up Pedersen on purpose.
Oh, into the inside. Sorry, Ollie to the inside. Leroy round the outside now, trying to defend as best he can is Ollie, and he has made the move stick. He is still defending from the Alfa Romeo behind, but something that hit me, so I just had to wander around my move for a second as my heartburn gets terrible. Down the inside comes Leroy at turn 10. There's contact. Oh, Ollie very well to catch that. Something that hit me though, if Mercedes score maximum points...
Pedersen goes wide!
What's that?
Pedersen went wide, man.
Sorry, I thought you said Vettel went wide. I was thinking, what? Where do we got one of those?
Oh, he's got damage! He's got wing damage! Oh,
he's cutting corners, which you can't really do that.
I don't think he's doing it on purpose, mate. I think he's genuinely got horrible wing damage.
He does have horrible wing damage, I know, but at the same time, you can't really do that. But I don't care. There's been a movement from Thomas.
He's got to try and get. He's got to try and get back to the pits here. This is the championship over. Really? I mean, obviously
no,
it's not done.
We've still got some time to go. Leroy to the inside, and Pedersen goes wide. He's trying to catch that. Car's got something wrong with it. I think he was going for a puncher almost for a second there. But that car is dead, and that is the chance. We could be speaking to one of two drivers on the podium tonight. Ollie, or Pedersen, or Leroy now.
I'm going to ask, mate, for me, that's why championship over. Obviously, it's not done until it's mathematically done. But you've got to be honest, if you've Pedersen, you've got to be home for a miracle now.
But here we go. This is the thought I had, though, as I had to just go off and do something quickly. Mercedes will be scoring maximum points tonight at 43 points unless something drastic happens in the next 3 or 4 laps. Which means that they will take the lead in the Constructors' Championship as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's been a silent night from Electro Dan, hasn't it?
His teammate crashing out earlier on. But yes.
Yeah. But mate, I want to get your opinion on this. Obviously, I know you're very much more all inclusive. I'm very much want to come to the the quick decisions. I know sometimes that's not the best thing to do, but you got to say it's looking bleak for Pedersen chances.
We've seen championships fold quicker though. We've seen championships fold at later stages. We can see Pedersen has to come back and win next race if he wants to stay in it.
He's got to win both, really.
He's got to win the next 2 races and for Mike Bundy not to score.
Yeah.
He'll have have a 49-point difference now?
Yes. Obviously, you know, it's again, it's not again. That's not me being mean here, but you got to be honest. He's hoping for a miracle, isn't he?
Mike Bundy will now, if he wins this race, we got to keep saying if because we're not done with the race yet. If he wins this race, he will have a 49-point difference coming into Sector 3's yellow flags are waving even more.
Truckster.
See, Truckster struggling, is he? Oh yeah, that's a big spin there. That's difficult and easy to do. He'll have a 49-point difference coming into Britain, into Silverstone. If Pedersen wins this race and Silverstone and Brazil, the next 2 races, and Mike Bundy does not score, Pedersen will be champion.
Yes, but you got how likely is that, man?
We can see what happens.
Obviously, we can all say that we'll see what happens, but just looking at obviously we don't know, but we got to be looking at a logistical standpoint. What do you think that does to Pedersen's mindset?
It's a point that I've never been in as a driver. I've never been fighting for the championship, so I wouldn't know.
You suck. No, but I mean, I've never been fighting for the championship, but you know, I can say that it's probably very you know, it's certainly quite demoralising.
I tell a lie. I am actually a champion. I'm the SFR Classic champion, which still means something. It does mean something because it's wait. Okay, fine. I won't mention that though. Pedersen charging down towards the catch up after Smelly Badger as he looks to the back end of it. Pedersen thinking about now trying to get through.
He could possibly get Thomas as well. P8 wouldn't be the worst of driving, but is he going to be really? Is he going to pull a Charles Leclerc here and win his race?
He's going to try it out. Yeah, I've just seen Twan. I've seen that message. Yes, you can send it to me. Sorry, what was that? Pull a Charles Leclerc? You referring to the sprint race?
Monaco.
That one.
What do you mean? He did ruin his race.
He didn't. Well, it's a situation anyway.
I mean,
Off the subject of
it was
Monaco, let's
Ferrari,
focus on SFR for a moment.
here
Let's
comes
focus on SFR for a
Solheim.
moment as Peter Solheim takes to the grass now, trying to get past Benny Badger. He's very, very aggressive, and he's going to start to think about, well, it's the penultimate lap of the race. At this point, he doesn't care. Is this going to be the end of Peter Solheim's relationship with McLaren? 2 seasons there.
Oh yeah. No, to be fair though, I think it was his fault more than McLaren's fault. I think McLaren had given him a really good package this season. You know, I know you're very much more happy-go-lucky guy, but I think we got to drive Rara. Smiley Badger let him go. Now he's got 2 laps here to get. What's that? About a 2-second gap. 3.1. What's your thoughts, JB? Is this the end of Solheim, or do you think he can get one more position?
Solheim will be looking to make his move as quickly as possible. He has the pace now to pass up and get past Thomas as quickly as possible. But we'll just see what happens. He's still got 3 seconds to go. He is going to have the fastest car right now on track. But we are on the penultimate lap of the race. Mike Bundy heading towards sector 3 now is looking like it's going to be his race tonight. And Honey Badger looking to be on the podium as well.
I'm going to keep my eyes on Peter Solheim then. Just start his last 2 laps. And interestingly, Peter Solheim, he might be racing a losing battle here because Thomas hasn't got a penalty yet. He's got 2 warnings but no penalty. Oh, Peter Solheim loses it! Oh, drama there! He's got another one.
6 seconds added to Peter Solheim's time at the end of the session.
That's not good.
Smelly Badger only has 1 warning as well, and it has
Smelly Badger only has 1 penalty as well, so as long as Smelly can keep in the 3 seconds area, he's got. But I don't think he will do, so that's lucky for the Solheim.
I'm just gonna edit what I said before. I did say that Mike Bundy would have a 49-point gap heading into Britain, but he would actually have, if it finished how it was now, adding penalties, he would have a 48-point gap due to Peter Solheim having 1 point to his name. I did not count in Peter Solheim having points, so I do apologise for that. Quick maths is not my strong suit.
Every point counts here, but again, that's the caveat. Bundy can only get what 10th place, and you know, Peter Solheim has to win both, and that's so he wins the championship. It doesn't really make it that much easier for him.
We are on the final lap of the race now, and it's looking to be a potential Mercedes 1 and 2 between the maximum points here in SFR as they head towards P1 for the final time. I think at this point, Honey Badger knows he's got penalties. He knows his teammate doesn't have penalties, so he doesn't want to push on. Honey Badger looking to score his first points of Season 4 in SFR, and it's going to be great because it's going to be a podium as long as he doesn't lose it now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Again, Petzol's done a very good job in this last stint, but over pushing it. He's already got an extra warning on top of his penalty as well, so that doesn't help proceedings.
Mike Bundy only has to negotiate a few more corners now. So it's 2 and 3 yellow flags. It's Dietrich, he's in the grass, he's in the gravel, sorry, he's in the kidney litter, but we can't focus on that now. Mike Bundy has negotiated Blanchimon. He's battled his way through after a poor start. It's been a race of drama for Mr. Bundy. He comes round the final corner. Will there be weaving? There is a little bit, and he does win the race here from his teammate in P2. A 1-2 maximum points for the new Constructors' Championship leaders. Leroy, for the first time ever, will finish on the podium in SFR. Well done to Leroy. No, it's Ollie. Ollie is on the podium with penalties.
By a tenth of a second. By a tenth of a second, might I add. That's got to be gutting for Leroy.
P6. Rocking Kid. Z-Trex are losing it. Z-Trex are crashing out on the line. He'll still be classified as P12.
Look how close Peter Solheim got. Give him credit.
He's going slow across the line. He knows that he's in a mood. He's going to be blaming himself for that.
Oh, he dropped down!
What's that? Oh yeah, of course he dropped down. He got a penalty.
But he shouldn't, if he didn't slow down,
He had the 6 second for penalties anyway.
No, but Smelly Badger, yeah, but he was over 3 seconds ahead of Smelly Badger.
Well, that's his
fault. He didn't slow down. We can't be saying, you can't be the angry SFR manager. You know, that's stupidity there from Peter Solheim. Again, I don't want to be mean to drivers, but that's the point thrown away.
Mike Bundy.
Which means now, JB, as long as my calculations are correct, Bundy only has to score. If he goes 10th, they can draw. if he scores anything over 10th position, Mike Bundy next week will be. Oh, Steve Pasley. There's a little bit of donuts on the air and he retires. Good job. But no, mate, that was a strange ending. But what's your thoughts about this? Not as an admin, but as a commentator, because obviously I only come in as the commentator here. But what is your thoughts as a commentator? Take the admin hat off for a second. Do you think that's an absolute bottle from Pedestal? Do you think that 9th position would have helped a bit, or do you think that's an act of him giving up?
He would have been one step closer. I don't think it's ever an act of giving up there. But let's focus on who we have on the podium right now. Mike Bundy in P1 ahead of Honey Badger in P2, scoring his first points of the season. Honey Badger doing well to get second place. And Ollie getting his first podium in SFR. Hopefully many more to come for Owen. Ollie, this could get... Here are the racing stats, barring any stewards' inquiries. Mike Bundy is in P1 ahead of Honey Badger in P2, Ollie finishing in P3, Leroy finishing in P4, Ryan in P5, Electro Dan is in P6, Rockin' Kid is in P7, Thomas is in P8, Smelly Badger is in P9, Peter Solheim is in P10. Outside the top 10 was C Pazzi and Z-Trackster. They were still classified though, they destroyed their cars at the end of the race. Outside of the top 10 who didn't finish the race, Twan, Sweezy, Colours to God, James Braden, Samu, Linnell, Scented Crumpets and Brett did not make it to the checkered flag. What a race indeed. Very entertaining.
It was stressful. It was stressful.
It was a stressful race, but we shall see obviously what comes on. Hey Sol, hello Ace. What are you doing here, Adam? Didn't expect you to be joining us. But yes, it was a brilliant race nonetheless. But we'll have a chat with these guys as they come in. We'll have a chat with all these guys in a moment now. I believe all three of them will be on microphone, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
I have a lot of questions, to be honest. I'm sad that Solheim wasn't in the podium interviews, but I think obviously it's not done yet. But I think we can say well done to Mike Bundy no matter what, because that was a great drive to come back from 5th position at one. They can get the win today. I think that shows the qualities of a champion. But I'm aggravated, man.
We shall see what happens come next week's race in Silverstone.
Different we are as commentators. I find that really funny. You're very much more the
because I've got to be. You never know. Because the entire point of me is to make there to be a show. I've got to make there be a show.
You're the guy. But I'm not mean content. I'm just realistic. Whereas you're more of the SFR company man.
I have invited all three of the podium sitters now. We'll have a look to see if we can chat to them in the chat there. Peter Solheim.
All I'm gonna say, guys, is he didn't reply to my comments, so that tells you everything.
Well, it does. I had to do this. I had to mention that I've invited them.
Well, maybe next time you should pay attention to me instead.
Well, I have to do something now because Ollie, I have to make sure because you've never been up here, mate. Is your voice set to share?
I think so.
Do you want to check? Do you want me to run through with you how to check?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So if anybody does hear Ollie right now in the chat, just go to hold the share button. Then you go to sharing and broadcast settings, and then look for audio sharing settings. Oh, I've been told that we can hear you, Owen, so that's fine. Ollie.
I think it's on.
Yeah, sorry, Ollie, that's going to be frustrating. We have Honey Badger in here as well. I assume that you and Mike both have your voice to share. You guys can speak up now.
I have.
Yes.
Mike?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. I'll let you know early, Mike. Ace is in the chat right now, so you might be getting some heckling. But we'll start off with Owen. Owen, mate, your first trip onto the podium, was it expected at all? Because you're here finally. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you. I think really the reason why I got it was because I picked up. I didn't make any mistakes, and a lot of other guys in front of me made mistakes. So I managed to pick up places here and there. And in the end, I knew I was 3 seconds behind on penalties, and I managed to just edge in front of. I don't remember who it was, but I really pushed the last lap to get that podium. So I felt some satisfaction after that.
So we saw you battling a lot all the way through the race with Leroy. How did that ever affect your mentality? Thinking, oh look, I'm this close to a podium now in my X number race here at SFR, or were you just thinking it's
Yeah.
just another race? I'm just racing for any position right now.
No, because it's probably the highest up I've been, isn't it? Yeah. Fighting up there. So when Pedder crashed out, I knew that I actually had a chance to get on the podium. So maybe that actually pushed me to drive even faster. So I just managed to get inside that tent there. So yeah, that was nice.
Looking forward to next week in Silverstone. Will we be seeing you back here as we head to my favourite track in Formula One?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be great. Can't wait for it.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations, Alex. Any words for our dear friend Ollie?
Yeah, I just want to say, man, congratulations, first podium. I mean, I know what that felt like this season, so it's a big thing. Also, I just want to say, mate, don't get disheartened that it was on penalties. You had a great drive. As you said, you were very consistent, and I'm fairly sure, if not this season, we'll see you up there again next season. But for me, I just want to say, was there any point of you just thought my race went from being just a standard race to now I have a podium fight on my hands? Did you kind of feel that change, or was it just like a Sunday drive for you all the way through?
No, it definitely was. I was definitely more on edge as the race went on because I knew that there was only like a small thing that needed to happen for me to get on the podium. So I kind of put me on edge through the whole race. It wasn't like a normal Sunday drive at all. It was more exciting for me, for sure. Yeah.
Well, man, congratulations. The Spa wasn't the easiest track to get a podium on, and just keep fighting, and I'm pretty sure we'll see you up here more times in the next season.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right, so moving on from Owen, we're going to head to Honey Badger. Honey Badger, you haven't scored points this season until today.
Oh no, tell me about it.
You've done it though. You're on the podium, not the window.
I know.
Did you want the window for it to be your first points, or is second place good enough?
Sure, you always want to win, but I had a great race and I haven't had that in a long time, so I haven't had that in a long time, so I'm happy with that. And at least it's my teammate that won, so.
With that, I could ask you lots of questions about why you haven't scored points, but the bigger question is, was Spa easier for you knowing the breaking points already, seeing as you're not using Racing Line? Do you feel better racing this track, or racing tracks you know the breaking points are much easier? Did that help you with the past history of running a Racing Line on this track?
I have to admit that I was using Racing Line, but I chose to drive with a stock setup because I was getting really frustrated with the driving with no line. I was fucking it up every time, so I decided to go for a stock setup, and I had a great race.
Nonetheless, you just made me look like a complete idiot on the commentary. Thanks for that, Tom. But nonetheless, it's always interesting to see Honey Badger up here and having a chat with him, the Flying Dutchman.
I love the qualifying though.
Yeah, qualifying looks fantastic.
It was wet.
Yeah. well, we lost about that. Now qualifying, how did you feel about that?
Oh, amazing. I think I nailed my lap, the last one. I couldn't have done it much better, really. So yeah, I was really happy with my qualifying. I always love the wet, so.
With one other question though, you and Mike Bundy, from my calculations, are now leading the Constructors' Championship. You're way out of the Drivers' Championship. Are you looking forward to? Are you thinking now that is your maximum effort to do, is to focus on scoring points for the Constructors' Championship?
Definitely, we want to get that Constructors' Championship.
Okay, so yeah. Alex, any questions for our Flying Dutchman?
Yeah, man. First of all, congratulations, second spot again. I just have a thing when people get podiums on Spa because it is such a tricky circuit. So again, congratulations.
Okay.
Okay, I've got a few questions for you. First of all, I don't want to say you let Bundy win, but were you holding off, or was it just pure pace from Bundy that got the win today?
No, I think our pace was pretty much the same. He overtook Peter Solheim, and I just didn't on that moment. I think that cost me because then I dropped out of DRS range at the end. So yeah, okay. But I think we were quite equal in pace. Yeah, he had a solid drive.
Also, obviously, we don't know whether you're back next season. I don't know if it's confirmed yet. If you are, though, are you using these next few races just as practice for next season, or because it's on a new game, is it a completely different ballpark?
I don't know really. I'm just gonna have fun. Really, that's the main thing. That's what I want to do now. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, anyway, man, I just want to say congratulations, and then podium two
Yeah.
more times. There's two more races to go.
I do want to say though, I'm sorry for the house driver that for the incident at lap 1. I had a good run out of Eau Rouge, so I chose to right hand side, and then he got back in front of me, and I think it's desync or something, or I slightly hit his rear and I spun him. So massive apologies. So I just want to have that set.
Well, thank you for being a good sport as well. It's good to see that there's no mentality.
One final question to Honey Badger. Next week we're off to Silverstone. You know how I feel about Silverstone. Everyone knows it at this point. Are you going to be on the top step at Silverstone, or are you going to be looking to just score best points you can?
I don't know. I don't think I'll be at P1, but we'll see. If it's gonna rain, then I might have a chance though.
All right. Well, congratulations. Go on.
Oh, I said let it rain.
Oh, okay. Congratulations to you, Tom, on P2. Maximum points for Mercedes tonight. But I have to go talk to. He's done it twice now in as many weeks. Mike Bundy, P1. How does that feel?
It feels pretty good.
I mean, you were fifth at one point in the race. You were fifth for your amazing start, as always.
My underpants were a different colour after Eau Rouge, because Brett went straight across the track in front of me, and I had to brake. So that was lucky.
So take us through that. You were fifth after one of your more trademark starts in SFR. Take us through how that affected your race. You had to then use the first stint, which really should have been conserving tyres, to actually fight through the field, unlike your teammate.
Yeah, I sort of just once I think it was Twan got past me, I thought, well, he's going to pit early anyway because he's on a different set of tyres. So I thought, well, I'll just stick with him, and then got past him, and and then just sort of just put my head down and drove as fast as I could. And to be fair, the car was amazing. The set was brilliant. So it was just like on rails, the car. And then when I wasn't sure what to do when I was fighting my teammate, because I didn't know what lap he was pitting. I didn't know what lap I was pitting. So I sort of just let him back past me, and then was like, well, I'll pit this lap, and then he can pit next lap, save us double stacking or going an extra lap. And then once I saw Honey was on the Pedder was on the mediums, I thought, I can have him here, and I'm gonna have him. I'm not gonna let him finish in front of me.
This result has given you a lot of breathing room in the championship. Arguably, you could say coming into Silverstone now, you have one hand on that championship trophy. Is that going to affect your mentality coming into the next race?
No, not really, because I mean, I'll just sort of just keep going the way I am. I'm not thinking about the championship. I'm just thinking about getting a good result at the next race for myself and for the team. I mean, we had a 1-2 today, so I'm not going to complain too much because we pulled off the perfect strategy, soft to super soft, which I don't think anyone else did. So I'm quite happy.
Well, congratulations to you. We'll hand you over to Alex now, who will check if he has any questions for our race winner and championship leader.
Absolutely, I do. You said championship leader again. I'm going to ask the question that you wouldn't, JB. Mike, and obviously now it's not over till next week at least, but you've got to feel confident now that you've got at least one hand on that championship.
I literally just asked that question.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I wasn't listening. I'll change my question. So obviously we've got Britain next week. I don't know whether you asked this or JB, but winning in your home, your home track, is that more of a feeling for you, or is it? Do you think it's just another race, whatever?
It's just another race that JB's picked.
I had to pick it. It's the best track in Formula One.
I mean, to be fair, I'm happy that it might be going. So that's my opinion of Silverstone. I don't know whether it's been confirmed that it's.
I work
around,
for Silverstone. I have to say, I have to be nice to them.
But no, Mike, as well, just say congratulations because that was a real champion's drive today. You did a very good job especially after going down at the start to come back and fight. And just want to say congratulations. And if you do win the championship, you completely deserve it.
Oh, thanks, mate. And just a quick note. Cheers to my congrats to my teammate, Honey Badger. It was a great drive. Yeah. And also, I'm not sure what happened to Pedder, but he had a great race. So
well,
we've all been there.
Yeah, well done to everyone. Commiserations to Pedder, who finished ultimately in 10th place, 1 point gain to his name this race. Well done to you, 3 drivers. I know Ollie is no longer with us in the party chat, so we'll have a chat to you guys later on. Now, to Alex, that race was absolutely brilliant. They had a virtual safety car, if you remember, at the start for Lionel having a spin. I mean, that shows how brilliant this game is. 10 out of 10 IGN, thank you. But how was that race for you?
I mean, it was fine. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I've seen better out of the season so far, but it was good fun, and it's shame that I won't be here next week when the championship could possibly be done. But I'll be back in Interlagos, I believe it is, for the last one. Or as we called it, I think it was for last season. It was called Barca Brazil. We dubbed it because we just had a tear. Was it us that did that? It might be.
Yeah, it was you that started it.
No, we both had a mistake.
I made a mistake to start with, but I made it off. Then it would just snowball from there. Off the subject of my failings as a commentator, please, also, God, no one hire me.
I just want to say good luck to the guy that's coming next week because you're going to need it if you commentate with JB. He leaves the commentary box in a mess. It's an absolute state. And yeah, just have a good time. And I won't be watching next week, unfortunately, because I've got things to do. But good luck to Mike Bundy. Good luck to put us all home. Good luck to all 20 drivers that are out there. And I wish you all the best. And hopefully we can see Mike Bundy lift that trophy.
So, SFR is done here in Belgium. We'll be seeing you next week over in Silverstone, heading back to SFR's spiritual home. It will be a fantastic race. Thank you, Alex, for joining us me on commentary.
No worries, and Silverstone is overrated. It's not a good track.
I'm now going to kick him in the face. Off the show, they're my employers. But nonetheless,
I could totally pull a card right now, which would make you like an absolute idiot on stream, but I won't do it.
My name is JB. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time in Silverstone. Make sure you join us for GP3 on Tuesday. That championship is well and truly heated up to the absolute max, and join us on GP2 to see on Wednesday night to see whether Mike Bundy can take the championship lead, take the championship home to his home place. I'm butchering this outro. Anyway, off the show to that. I'll see you next time in SFR. Ta-ra, guys.